Hello everyone, welcome back to Stock Market Meridian. Today is 21st August 2026 and you're watching today's pre-market report. Let's begin with the global markets. Starting with the US markets, all the major US indices closed in the red, while currently US index futures are trading in the positive zone. The major concern behind the US market decline was Walmart's weaker than expected results, which added pressure to investor sentiment. And in the European markets, only the FTSE 100 index closed in the green, while the remaining major indices ended in negative territory. Now, looking at the Asian markets, Japan, China, and South Korea are currently trading in the negative zone. So overall, global markets are indicating a negative sentiment for today. Now let's move to commodities. US WTI crude oil is currently trading around $85 to $87 per barrel, while Brent crude is trading near $93 to $95 per barrel. Yesterday, Indian crude oil futures ended with nearly 1% gains, while natural gas futures declined by around 3.6%. In the precious metal segment, Indian gold futures gained more than 0.9%, while silver futures closed around 2.7% higher. Now let's check ADR data. Yesterday's ADR trend was almost the exact reverse of Wednesday. Wipro and Infosys ADRs closed sharply lower, while HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories and Reliance Industries ADRs closed strongly higher. Overall, the ADR trend indicates positive sentiment toward the banking sector, while the IT sector remained under pressure. Now, moving to FII and DII data. Yesterday, FIIs were net sellers of 583 crore rupees, while DIIs were net buyers of 3,537 crore rupees. Although FII selling continues, strong DII buying provides some support to the domestic market. Now, let's check the economic calendar. Yesterday, both the US Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index and US initial jobless claims data came out better than expected. Today, markets will focus on India and US manufacturing and services PMI data, along with India's foreign exchange reserves data. There are no major events scheduled for tomorrow. Now, coming to the geopolitical updates. The United States is increasing economic pressure on Iran, targeting the country's financial networks and its support for proxy groups. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the strategy focuses on economic isolation rather than restarting military operations. Following failed talks, President Trump announced an economic D-Day, warning that countries continuing commercial ties with Tehran could face aggressive US secondary sanctions. The US Treasury is expected to reveal more details about the sanctions package on Monday. Meanwhile, Iranian officials have strongly rejected the US campaign, calling it another attempt to pressure Tehran. In another major development, President Trump has signed a directive aimed at creating a golden age of space transportation. The plan targets more than 1,000 launches and re-entries from US soil every year by 2030, while also encouraging private sector investment and faster approval processes. The move is aimed at strengthening US leadership in commercial space transportation, satellite networks, and national security missions. Now let's move to some important company updates released after the market close. First up is HDFC Bank. India's largest private sector lender has raised $1.75 billion through senior unsecured bonds from its GIFT City branch. This is reportedly the bank's largest overseas fundraise since the 2008 global financial crisis. The fundraising consists of two tranches. The 3-year tranche raised $500 million, while the 5-year tranche raised $1.25 billion. The bonds will be listed on India INX and the NSE and are scheduled to settle on August 26, 2026. This fundraising will help HDFC Bank diversify its funding base, support overseas lending, and strengthen its credit growth capabilities. Next is Welspun Corp. The company has secured the largest order in its history, valued at approximately $1.8 billion or around 17,200 crores. The order is for the supply of pipes manufactured at the company's US facility, with execution scheduled across FY 2028 and FY 2029. Following this order, Welspun Corp's global order book has reached approximately $4.4 billion or around 42,100 crore rupees, the highest in its history. The massive order significantly improves the company's multi-year revenue visibility. Moving to the sugar sector, the Indian government has allowed duty-free imports of up to 10 lakh metric tons of raw sugar to control rising domestic prices ahead of the festive season. The import window is effective immediately and will remain open until October 31, 2026. Domestic sugar prices have increased by nearly 40% over the last 2 months due to tightening inventories and higher festival demand. The move is aimed at increasing domestic supply and controlling further price increases. Now, coming to the aviation sector. According to DGCA data, domestic air passenger traffic declined nearly 5% year-on-year in July 2026 to around 1.2 crore passengers. Indigo continued to dominate the market with a 67.4% market share, carrying more than 80 lakh passengers. The Air India Group followed with a 24% market share, while Akasa Air held around 5.5%. Indigo also recorded the highest on-time performance at 91.2%, followed closely by Akasa Air at 90.8%. However, SpiceJet recorded a significantly lower on-time performance of just 34.5%. Next is Vedanta Aluminium. The company has launched two advanced products under its primary foundry alloy portfolio at the AutoEdge 2026 conclave. These alloys are designed for high temperature and high wear automotive applications, including engine, transmission, and powertrain components. The products were developed in collaboration with IIT Delhi and are designed for both internal combustion engines and electric vehicles. Vedanta is also expanding its aluminium capacity and aims to increase the share of value-added products to 90% of its portfolio. Moving to KIMS Hospitals. KIMS has entered into an exclusive operations and management agreement with Auravia Hospitals for a multi-speciality hospital in Gachibowli, Hyderabad. The initial agreement is for 5 years, with an option to extend it by another 5 years. KIMS will manage the hospital in exchange for a management fee equal to 9% of its net revenue. The hospital currently has approximately 250 beds. Importantly, KIMS has also secured a call option, giving it the right to potentially acquire the hospital business in the future. The move strengthens KIMS' presence in Hyderabad while following an asset-light expansion model. Next is Adani Power. The Appellate Tribunal for Electricity, or APTEL, has allowed Adani Power's appeal in its regulatory dispute with the Maharashtra Electricity Regulatory Commission. APTEL has set aside the earlier MERC order and directed the regulator to recalculate the applicable dues according to established parameters. The decision could potentially allow Adani Power to recover past costs linked to regulatory and statutory changes. Moving to BL Kashyap & Sons has secured a domestic work order worth Rs 183.18 crores from Realcraft Ventures. The project involves civil and structural works for a major residential development and is expected to be completed within approximately 18 months. The new order strengthens the company's execution visibility and provides additional revenue momentum for the current financial year. And finally, RailTel. The company has received a work order worth Rs 164.79 crores from Western Coalfields Limited, a subsidiary of Coal India. The project involves establishing an MPLS VPN network on a rental basis for a period of 60 months. The project is scheduled to operate through September 2031, providing RailTel with a long-term recurring revenue opportunity. And that's all for today's pre-market report. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stock Market Meridian. And I'll see you again this evening with today's post-market report. Thank you for watching. Signing off, Jai Hind.